And bang! Greetings, these Will Feel number one fans and viewers. Scott Kisageo here, and today I'm gonna give you my recap and review of Star Trek Picard Season 3, Episode 6, entitled The Bounty. It was written by Christopher Manfredi and it was directed by Dan Liu. And it was another satisfying episode. 6 episodes in, and the final season of Star Trek Picard has been absolutely amazing. I pretty much loved everything about this episode, except for one minor nitpick, but all in all, a very good episode from start to finish. Okay. Let's begin with the recap, shall we? It's time to team up for some fun with an homage to a heist movie of an episode. Recap. Maybe I was doomed before I was even born. The Titan is being hunted, using decoy transponders to keep just ahead of Starfleet and the strike, while Vadic takes out her frustrations by vaporizing a Rando Bridge changing and throwing out lines like the night will brighten with the ashes of the Federation and from them we will rise. In sickbay, Beverly Crusher has sorted out Jack's visions are a symptom of erotic syndrome. A little generic gift from Dad. She has a short-term fix, but the prognosis is terminal. Although it's unclear how long he has and could be decades. Jean-Luc finds Jack in 10 forward. But in 10 forward. Celebrating that at least he isn't going crazy. Jean-Luc tries consoling him with some trademark wisdom, but Jack only finds solace at the bottom of a whiskey glass. Things lighten up in the transporter room reunion with Mr. Worf even accepting a hug from Beverly Crusher. Although things between Seven and Raffi are a bit icy. After getting up to speed on the Jack thing, Worf puts us back on task with we must ensure Roland's death was not in vain to protect both Starfleet and your kin. At a briefing in the change at a briefing on the changing threat, a ticking clock is set up to 48 hours. That's when they will make their move on the frontier day. The only way to figure out what's super dangerous thing the changing stove from Daystrom is to break in themselves, but is to break in themselves, but they need to get past the contentionally foreshadowed astonishingly lethal AI system. Worf and Raffi will sneak in with Riker, joining for reasons. Another awkward Seven Raffi transporter moment is punctured by Worf chiming in with breakups on my home road seldom and without bloodshed. On Daystrom Station, Quinn's key works and they head up to the vault, passing all sorts of dangerous, and they head up to the vault. Riker delights in Worf jumping in at the sight of an attack triple, but is dismayed. His old shipmate isn't having much of fun as he is. The Klingon is focused on the mission, and his new Zen attitude. We will not pray. We will be friendly energy. J Gamers, another eye roll from Will Riker. The often mentioned security system makes its presence known. Curiously, is starting with a holographic quote and a few notes notes on violin, all leading up to another reunion when Riker recognizes the guy at the end of the corridor holding a gun. It's Professor James Moriarty. The- You always want to impart the best aspects of yourselves to them. While ship patrolling Daystrom Station, Picard takes the Titan to the Fleet Museum for help, only to be met up with a chilly reception from another old friend, Commodore Geordie LaForge. Forge. 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 Hold on. Commodore Commodore Geordie LaForge, who an old friend, Commodore Geordie LaForge, beams over, and even another Beverly Hug can't tamp down his anger over Picard, putting his daughter Sydney in danger. But she has her own ideas on how to run her life. Egged on by a charming new pal Jean-Luc is there to get Geordie to change the ship's transporter signal, but apparently that won't work with newfangled ships like Titan, since they're all concerned to each other. Which is how Starfleet keeps on finding them, even after being briefed on the changing thread. Geordie says he just can't put his family in any more danger. While Geordie and Picard debate, Jack and Seven indulge in some vintage Starship indulge. As they swipe right through some of Starfleet's greatest hits, where Jack reveals he has a thing for retro. Seven joins in his admiration, but she only has eyes for one particular museum ship, the one she called home, Voyager, the USS Voyager. Jack shows he's a chip off the old block, offering up what she calls a classic Picard poetic drive-by observation that makes her feel seen. They finish their virtually shipyard tour, focusing on a certain Klingon bird of prey. When Seven noting on and it was when Seven noting it was hard to find in San Francisco Bay, and you can almost see the light bulbs pop up above Jack. Things are wrapping up with Geordie and Jean-Luc as they come to an understanding over the former Enterprise D's chief engineer, chief motivation, protecting his family. So that's the Titan will depart but and leave Sydney behind. As Picard and Seven stop planning a potentially suicide attack when return to Daystrom, Sydney takes a turn at her dad, making it clear she isn't afraid and doesn't need his protection. She wants to save the galaxy just like he taught her, just like he used to do himself. Cindy confers with Alondra, and Jack sidles up to the LaForge sisters to ask if they are up to some minor larceny, and they all slink away when Captain Shaw uncharacteristically the fanboys out over having the legendary engineer on the ship. As Jordan prepares to depart, things start going all wonky, and he immediately knows what's happening, accusing Picard of chicanery until they both realize their kids are the ones behind what is now a failing attempt to install the cloaking device stolen from the HMS Bounty. Down in engineering, the LaForge sisters and Jack struggle to stop a chain reaction resulting from their clues until Geordie arrives to save the day. Looks like Geordie is the latest recruit to join the Outlaw Titan crew, but he has the presence of a mind to get a message to his wife that he will be late for dinner priorities. Evolution is not an act of perversion. It's evolution is not an act of preservation. It's addition. A menacing Moriarty scoffs at Waffy's dismissal of him as a mere 19th century horror villain, firing back with his old gun and trash truck. Talk about pathetic old warriors. Riker picks up on the musical tones, responding by a whistling tune that pleases an old hologram who disappears, opening the final door in this maze of a station. We count an old memory. Riker has put the pieces together as they enter the final chamber to find out what he was expecting. Data, but not our Data, who after he knows is very dead. This apparently the deactivated version of Data comes with a recorded intro manual courtesy of Alton Sung, the scientist behind the synth of season 1. Explains that before he died, he had one last creation, which includes bits of Data along with his extended android family out inside a new synth with the true human and aesthetics of age. The goal was to build a legacy that could combine all these elements to create someone who will rise to the best of us, but the combination didn't work, leaving the different personalities to conflict. The Daystem folks still decided to put the resulting insane AI in control of security, and in fact, to the manifest they are looking for into the fun fact manifest they're looking for is also buried inside. The Titan finally returns to the Daystem, but when Starfleet security with Starfleet security closing in, Riker decides to go solo to buy the team time, getting himself tagged with a transport inhibitor. While the rest beam away on the Titan, the gang is shocked to see the new Data, and Worf vows he will get Riker back. After Jack and Picard, along with the LaForge family, have nice moments reflecting on what they learned in this episode, everyone gathers around their new old friend, with Jean-Luc particularly rattled seeing Data. After watching him die twice, Geordi and Beverly confirm that this isn't really Data, but something else. Once he's reboarded, we meet some of the battling personalities these crammed into this almost human android, including Data, B4, Sung, and Lore. The Data personality gets the upper hand long enough to reveal that what the changelings took from Daystem. At the bit of who's on first routine, it becomes clear that they were really after Jean-Luc Picard. Specifically, the corpse left over were after his consciousness was downloaded into a new synth body. Way back at the end of season 1. As we are left with a final score of Riker being tortured by a Starfleet security officer who turns out to be Vadic, who takes him to the Shrike. His jovial defiance to protect Titan's location melts when he sees who else is in custody. It's Deanna Troi, Riker's wife, as the episode ends with her saying, "Oh, Will." And I would give this episode 5 stars, 2 thumbs up, way up, a solid A triple plus, a solid A triple plus, and a 10 out of 10. I really enjoyed this episode. I like seeing Brent Spiner back as a new android. I really enjoyed that. I really enjoyed seeing the return of Professor James Moriarty, even though there was a cameo. That's kind of my nitpick, because I wish they would have done more with Professor James Moriarty's return, but it is what it is, and I understand. I also liked Vadic. I mean, like I said, I think Amanda Plummer is doing an absolutely amazing job as the new antagonist Vadek. She plays up to perfection. I like seeing Brent Spiner play the holographic version of the late Dr. Alton Inagusung. That was a good moment, and I'm looking forward to seeing with this new android, and how this plays out. And new android, and apparently the new android's name is going to be Daystrom Android M510. So I'm really looking forward to seeing in the 4 remaining episodes how this all plays out with the new Zoom type Android and what's going to happen. There's 4 episodes left. 4 episodes left. Like I said, this season has been absolutely amazing. Way better than the awful for first 2 seasons of Star Trek Picard. I liked everything about this episode. I like the flashback to this to Star Trek Next Generation pilot episode Encounter at Farpoint, where we saw Riker when he first met Lieutenant Commander Data on the holodeck. That was a nice flashback moment, and the musical tones they used in this episode, that was good. Yeah, and next week's episode is gonna be called Dominion. And it should be a really good episode because it kind of gives me shades of Star Trek Deep Space Nine when they were battling the Dominion War. So yeah, I'm looking forward to the 4 last episodes of Star Trek Picard and what's gonna happen and how this whole entire new android played by Ben Spiner plays out. I'm looking forward to that. Now, anyway, comment down below in the comment section. Tell me what you thought about this episode, Star Trek Picard Season 3, Episode 6, entitled The Bounty, what you liked about it. You stay classy, live long and prosper, and peace out. I will be back here next week to do my recap and review of Star Trek Picard Season 3, Episode 7, entitled Dominion. Good day, everybody, and peace out.